Well, there are several traces now at the moment, and biomass has been traditionally one of them. And what the group there in Twente, which I am associated to, is also they have the storage of electrical energy as a new subject. So that's biomass, energy storage, and several other things. Too many to mention, to be honest.
So we have managed to produce the energy, but now we have the problem to storage it.
I consider storage one of the main problems, because in photovoltaics, when there is no sun, there is no current, and the same holds for windmills, even at the sea, where the wind is almost always there. If you have a windmill of a certain capacity, then on the average on a year it produces half of its design capacity. And the other time there is no current. Yes. So you should, there are several ways to try to do that. You can make a fuel out of the sunlight or out of the wind. If you have electricity and if you have carbon, you could try to produce fuels for the intermediate, and these can be stored, let's say, for the winter season even. The advantage of biomass is that it produces out of carbon dioxide of the air and the sunlight. It produces fuel, in fact, both for life and also it can be extracted for human consumption, just like energy, food, fodder for the cattle, etc. But as an energy source, it's widely distributed over the air. There are not countries where nearly all the sources are within their borders. And it's also a storage medium itself. So with the solar energy, we get fuel that can be stored for a longer period of time. And it can be converted to other energy forms, electricity, but also liquid fuels, also gases, to which we are used to and to which our modern society is based upon, with internal combustion engines, and even we can produce fuels that can be used in fuel cells, etc. So it fits. There are also disadvantages of biomass, and it's a solid. We would rather have it to be a liquid or a gas, but there are processes available, and some of them are already in use that can convert the solid material to a gas or a liquid, which in the logistics helps a lot. But it differs a lot from location to location. Biomass is already used by nearly the half of the population of this planet as their only source. And from the renewable sources, it's still the largest one. I think for the Netherlands, the North Sea is very important, and the large windmill parks that will be there. There will also be a contribution from photovoltaic, but let's say other countries are better suited to it, closer to the equator. For example, you can gain maybe 3 times as much energy out of solar for the same surface area as compared to the Netherlands.
And what about zero emissions? Can we achieve that?
Well, the windmills are very close to zero emission, and this also holds for photovoltaics. They, if any, they pay their debt back in a relatively short time, and then they have zero emission. Well, the problem in the Netherlands is that there's abundant fossil fuels, they have all the ideal properties, except in the emission of carbon dioxide. So the only way is to make an international agreement that artificially the cost of using fossil fuels must be increased. That's the...
So we should punish the polluters.
Yeah. In fact, this is true, and otherwise, photovoltaic energy becomes compatible in southern Europe. In fact, it is already, and this creeps towards the north. And for wind energy, as soon as these large windmills are made in large quantities, this will also be a tough competitor already for fossil fuel. But we need some help from taxation, or by pricing at least the carbon dioxide emission. Otherwise, it will take too long. In the Netherlands, we are in a much less good situation for biomass energy. There's nearly no space to increase the amount of biomass, but yet it's still the largest source of renewable energy, also in the Netherlands. And I think in Serbia you could go one step further. Decentralized energy generation could be very well increasingly made by biomass, I would feel here.
So we should make smaller plants, which will use biomass more.
Yeah, rather than creating, I think the future is for smaller plants. Yeah, distributed energy generation.
Thank you very much, Professor.